Rachel and I mean, we've made a lot of films about this age group and a little bit younger, but we hadn't done it in a while. This is our Gen Z situation, and they're used to controlling their own image, and they invented the selfie, and we come along and we're like, no, we're going to do it, and you're going to let us do it, and we're going to.
We were shocked.
Yeah.
They were a tough group.
It was a tough crowd.
Yeah, tough.
And they didn't want to be famous, or they didn't want to be influenced. These are like quiet Northern European kids. We had like literally nothing to offer them except like, you want to tell your story?
Hello, and welcome back to The Director's Cut, brought to you by the Directors Guild of America. In this episode, young adults in Norway find connection to nature in directors Heidi Ewing and Rachel Grady's documentary, Folktales. Screened as part of the DGA's documentary series, the film follows a class of teenagers who take a gap year to learn wilderness survival and dog sledding in the frozen Norwegian landscape. Guided by their teachers and a pack of Alaskan huskies, they discover their own potential and develop deep relationships with the land, animals, and humans around them. In addition to Folktales, Ewing and Grady's other directorial credits include the documentary features The Boys of Baraka, Jesus Camp, and Norman Lear, Just Another Version of You, and episodes of the television documentary series POV, True Life, and American Masters. Following the documentary series screening of the film at the DGA Theater in Los Angeles, Ewing and Grady spoke with director Ondi Timoner about filming Folktales. Listen on for their conversation.
Heidi and Rachel, welcome back. Congratulations on a beautiful, beautiful film. I think it's one of my favorite shots in documentary, the shot of the dog's eyes in the red light in the beginning.
Yeah, that was one of our favorites too. They were good subjects, those dogs.
It's incredible, the cinematography and night cinematography. I mean, how did you guys pull that off? You found this incredible DP, Lars.
Yep. We had an incredible, Scandinavians are really, I mean, we all know about the Danes in documentary, but the Norwegians are really closely crawling up and the Danes are getting nervous. No, we found these amazing cinematographers. We saw a film by Margareta Olin called, what is the English title? Songs of Earth. Yeah. And he's an incredible talent, and we brought him in. He had never shot cinema verite. So he wanted to learn how to do it. And, but he had such an emotional eye, and the way he shot the natural world was so infused with emotion and tenderness that we just knew he could do it. We hoped. And we brought in a second cinematographer, a younger guy who was like a ninja, like a 90-pound vegan who like you never knew where he was. He was like behind a tree. No, he wasn't. He was in the window. He was a great verite shooter. And we put them together, and they weren't always shooting together, but between the two of them, we were able to get the film. And in terms of shooting at night, well, a lot of that was night, but there's 2 months of total darkness, which we forgot about when we started shooting. So we get there in November and it's like 11 a.m. And I'm like, where'd the sun go? And they're like, it's not going to be here till tomorrow. It doesn't come at all. So those sequences we had, they wore headlamps, and the snow acted as a bounce board. An amazing bounce board. And that's how all those night sequences were shot. And then in terms of the forest, it was the snow really absorbs and the forest absorbed the sound. So we were able to get excellent sound in those sequences as well. So the natural world actually helped us quite a bit with those sequences.
There's so much to say about the natural world, and especially about dogs and the power of animals in our lives. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about, because this is the DGA and we're all interested in how you captured the dog sledding, I'm sure. So tell me about how you did that. And you two also, as part of this answer, if you would, you've worked together. This is your 10th film together as partners. And yeah.
We crazy.
Yeah, and I'm curious how you work together as partners. I've always directed solo, so I've always looked at you guys and been like, it must be so nice not to be lonely out there. But yeah, tell me. But then I discovered that you don't actually shoot together most of the time. So tell us about that. Yeah, kind of how you arranged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we usually take turns when we go into the field. We'll cast together, figure out what kind of the language is, and then we'll take turns. It's just easier for everybody if there's just one director. And then usually in the case of this film, we also did one big shoot at the end, that, the graduation, everything. We were both there for that. And yeah, I mean, everything's fine until the edit. And then,
yeah, I was going to say, what happens when you disagree in the edit? Who wins, or is there like a rock, paper, scissors type of?
It's like the movie wins.
Yeah, the movie wins.
The movie wins.
Yeah.
We might get mad, but the movie wins. I don't think we've ever walked away and been like, the movie just got worse because somebody compromised.
No, that doesn't happen. But you do have to defend yourself, very rigorously.
And then go home and maybe take a
it's
day,
like you
day
have
apart.
to be
one needs to defend themselves.
One needs to defend themselves, because it's just like, what we'll do is.
No, but it's good because then you help the person articulate
why
what they liked about
like
it,
this.
And then you can say, well, that's not reading. What, you can help. You help each other.
Or it's like, okay, you don't think it works, then if you don't think it works, then you have to come up with,
then you have to fix
what's the solution. Otherwise it's staying where it is. You know what I mean? Until further. So we do have a process, and our long suffering editors are very involved in that as well. This film, we'd never worked with Nathan Poonwar before. He did Sugarcane, amazing editor. And he had a wonderful bedside manner and was cool as a cucumber. And that was really helpful.
Counselor.
He's a good man.
Yeah, he's a good marriage counselor for sure.
And the dog sledding?
The dog sledding was a puzzle, and you actually can't film dog sledding.
Nobody told us that either.
It's something that you cannot do.
It's virtually impossible.
It took us the entire school year to figure out all the things that worked and didn't work. What there was these doggy cams; those don't work. So we had GoPros on everything. We had a drone going. We had a gimbal going, and we had a regular camera going. Sometimes all at the same time.
And was Lars operating more than one camera?
No, we had
he did. Sometimes he could shoot and do the drone.
Well, sometimes the drone kept falling out of the sky because it was really cold, and we kept sending it back to Germany. This drone is broken, and that we need a new one. And they'd be like, "What are you doing to this drone?" We're like, "Nothing. It's just not good." It was just almost fell on a moose once, and then Lars had to go look for it. So those big sequences, the big one you see in the film where Roman sort of overcomes his dragons, we did have both of the guys there, so the shooting at the same time. But really these harnesses you put on the dogs we are always very snotty about the GoPro. It's a lowly tool. It's not for us. And then thank God for the GoPro. Some of the best stuff we got actually was on the GoPro. We clipped it on. They last for 50 minutes, 55 minutes if you're lucky. But those sequences, those conversations with Iselin and Roman at the end, that was all GoPro. So we literally just threw the whole book at it. And there's not one extra shot of dog sledding that you didn't see. Anything good is in the movie. We just barely eked it out.
You know what's actually really interesting about what you said is I've just been working on a film with a cinematographer who didn't do verite before. And she would get so upset because she'd find me with my iPhone or GoPro or something. But often it's really much more important to actually just catch the moment on something, and these days technology allows us to do that. And a cinematographer who's coming out of scripted freaks out sometimes. She's like, don't do that, but these days it actually can work out. It can mix really well.
Well, it was interesting with Lars is because he came from the canon of more static shooting and set pieces and setting things up, and has this incredible eye. And we did a lot of shooting verite in this movie, dialogue scenes on sticks, on tripod, because there was no reason not to. It's a quiet place. It demands to be, there's a study happening here. So we actually had an exchange. Like, we did a lot less movement until it was time. So we actually like infused each other with ideas, and it worked really well.
That's beautiful. Tell me about the red thread. Did you guys actually wind up the tree? And
5 days.
So where did this come from? Is this part of the learning of the school? Odin's story and the parable?
Well, it's a kind of a classic myth.
A classic.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the Norse mythology, which is about Odin looking for wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And the Norns are the fates, and like every mythology has fates.
And they give confidence in this case. They give children hope, right? In a few.
Well, the gifts they give are hope, disappointment, which I love. I think that's amazing that's a gift. Mm-hmm. And the last thing, which Iselin says, is the wisdom, but the ability to tell stories, which I think that's also a very beautiful thing to get at the end, which is like what we get to do. We get to tell stories. So it was this funny, it just evolved in this really organic way. I was reading a lot of myths. They talk about myths like they're real all the time. And the dogs are all named after gods. And it's just very much alive and part of the culture. And the place looks like you're on the moon, and it feels very mythological. And I told Heidi, I was certain like whoever wrote these myths wrote them here. You know? Yeah. And then we found the tree. We found that beautiful tree, and we were like, oh, it's Yggdrasil. It's the tree of life. Holy shit, we got to do something with it. And then, so we just started playing around, they all knit, and like, we were just getting sort of inspiration from everywhere. And we just started playing around with it and filming it. And, it took the whole edit to figure out how to kind of the cadence and the language, but.
And who wound the tree up with it?
We got a production designer from Oslo and her team, and then we got a bunch of people from Finnmark to help, and we got permission from the forestry department and brought in scaffolding, and it was a whole thing. And
it's like Christo.
Yeah,
like
right.
Island.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's true. Christo wrapping Guillermo del Toro's tree is what and it was really wonderful because we knew it was the last shoot. We'd seen Hege the day before and at her new job, and we'd gone back to Pacific, and it was like we knew it was the end, and we wrapped the tree, and they were playing music, and there was, there's this funny thing that Tolstoy said that in Siberia, there's 2 seasons, winter and mosquito. And it was true. It was like summer in Finnmark, and it was like the bugs, and they were wrapping the tree and playing music. And then we had to take it all down after we filmed it for a couple of days. But we were showing the movie in New York at the IFC the other day, and these college kids wandered in to watch the movie, and afterwards they're like, "That was cool. That was CGI at the end, right?" And I said, "No, that was not CGI. That was handmade." And he was like, "Sick." So I was like, "Oh, we could have done CGI. Damn it, didn't think of that."
I have so much I want to cover. Kids, working with kids. You have worked with kids throughout your career, but I think of Jesus Camp and I think of Boys Baraka as particularly standout classics. Cue the applause for anybody who knows those films. Thank you. Yeah, especially, Jesus Camp blew my mind. How is it working with kids today?
Oh, it's a delight.
That wonderful teacher they have out there who talks about the extreme external influences. How did you face those, and what did the gift of storytelling that you brought the kids do for them?
That's interesting. Rachel and I we've made a lot of films about this age group and a little bit younger, but we hadn't done it in a while. And this generation, this is our Gen Z situation, and they're used to controlling their own image, and they invented the selfie, and we come along and we're like, no, we're going to do it, and you're going to let us do it, and we're going to.
We were shocked.
Yeah,
This was a tough. They were a tough group.
It was a tough crowd.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to be famous or they didn't want to be influencers. These are like quiet Northern European kids. We had like literally nothing to offer them except like, you want to tell your story and let's do this together. And, you know, that was appealing to them, but they weren't like dying to be known, which is why they're so appealing, right? So,
but Hege, she had something right off the bat.
She's a little different.
One of the greatest cuts, by the way, maybe the best cut I've seen in a documentary this year, is that opening of her walking in the forest to the nightclub.
Yeah, we're proud of that cut.
It's a great cut.
We cheered in the edit bay when we found that
great
cut.
So what is up with that? The nightclub, like, did you meet her at the school, then take her to the nightclub? Did you go to the nightclub first?
No, we met her on Zoom and she said, we'd love to meet you this summer before you go to school and see what your life is like. Well, I'm going to Greece with my friends, but you won't come to Rhodos, will you? And I was like, when are you going? And went to Rhodos, and that scene takes place in Greece. And I met her that day. We met her that night, that day. And because we wanted to get the before, and she changed so fast that, like, thank God we got the before because she's not that person anymore. And so,
got a tattoo here that night.
Oh yeah, the psycho and I thought that. So that was really the first time we met her. That was in June. So she hadn't gone to the school yet.
So important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then afterwards she stays. Or, you know what was interesting watching the end this time? Just that she's worried about her weight at the end, even though like, it's like the kids can go through all of this and learn so much self-confidence and they're still plagued by the same things that.
Well, yeah, she went back to where we all live, which is where you're judged and you're self-conscious and all this other stuff. And you're dealing with humans and not dogs.
So is there a way to keep that and hold that? Like, what did you learn about that? You know, like for all of us now in this time of total chaos. I think should we all go to the school? Or
if you can.
Should we all leave like right away?
You should go.
Yeah. A 52-year-old woman enrolled a couple of years ago. There's like no upper age limit, just saying. It's not too late, y'all.
You know, I don't know. It's a good question. This is a great question. I don't know if I was a kid like them, if I could hold on to it, because you have so much, they have so much road ahead of them. But as an adult, I feel like I was able to hold on to more of it. Like it was extremely profound, I think, for both of us, but as city people and going to this place that's so quiet and so quiet, no light pollution. And it's just, it changes your body, you know? Yeah, it changes your nervous system. So I will keep up that forever, you know. But
it's like a muscle memory. I'm hoping for them it's like a muscle memory situation where they're not going to forget this experience. And I think they've been internally empowered by this experience, but we all live in this world. And I'm hoping that they're going to be able to find a way to toggle the contemporary needs with this urge to go into the natural world. We were talking to Hege last week, and she said, she was back home, and she was like, I know I'm feeling like I need to go back into nature. Like she's getting a signal now that when things aren't feeling right, she needs to go camping alone, and she does that now. So they're getting signals, and I think that those signals might not have been turned on before. So I do think they're going to be able to hold on to that tether. But like Rachel said, it's going to be very, very challenging.
That scene with Roman, unable to make the fire and just begging them to let him use their fire was so sad and also like so important. Yeah. And then the way she comes over to him, it was just precious. I mean, which one of you was there for that one?
That was Heidi.
I was there for that. And, it's all you can do not to help. You know, we had to promise to stay back. They were supposed to having a solo night, which doesn't mean like the film crew's like, hey, you want some chocolate? Like it was so hard. And so we had to get this stupid, huge lens. It was like 600 millimeter with an extender to 1200 millimeters. It works, guys. It's amazing. It's lightweight. These zoom lenses now are amazing.
What lens specifically?
It was actually a Sony, believe it or not.
Really?
I know.
I do believe
cheap,
it.
$500. And we were able to like stand way back and watching him struggle, and we're filming it from a distance, and it was painful. But then when the teachers approached at the end and were like, "You did a good job," I slipped him a chocolate bar. But that was at the end. No, but he'd already. Don't judge. It was at the end. He was hungry,
And
So.
and what was your favorite scene, Rachel, that you witnessed?
Moment. I was with Hege when Sautso died, and it was fascinating, and because she hadn't had a chance to say goodbye to her dad. He was murdered, so it was a surprise, and I think that getting to say goodbye to this dog kind of was like healed that a bit. That's what it felt like. She got very, that's what I felt in the moment was happening, that she was somehow getting to have that experience with this dog.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Yeah. Back to the dogs and Bjorn tour. We cannot end this Q&A without talking about Bjorn. What a trip.
And beets. Will you ever eat beets?
Yeah,
I love he walks away. He's like, I'm a nerd. I'll always be a nerd. I'm a nuisance. Maybe I'm less of a nuisance now.
I was listening. I came in the end and I was watching you guys watch him, and it's the laughing and the you guys got him and get him. And it makes me so happy because he's such a special character, such a quirky guy, and all the anxieties that we all have. I don't know. It really warms my heart that people love BT. We didn't know if he would translate,
He almost overshares in a really loving way, in like a lovable way,
Yeah.
He just, but he found friendship, right? I mean, I guess.
Found a friend, and we happened to be shooting the day that he actually made a friend. That actually happened in real time. And we all felt that we'd made a new friend. We were so happy, the whole crew after, did they just become friends? Did they just find each other after a year? Those dummies.
Both of them feeling so isolated.
Yeah. I mean, it's why we do observational cinema. It's why we continue to make verite films, white knuckling it, because those moments happen when you're on the job. You know this.
If you hang in there.
Hang in there. It's this little gift that the world gives you. It's just like, you just watched a person make a friend. Yeah. So it's the kind of thing that fortifies you and keeps you shooting the next day.
That's amazing. And then challenges, like getting there. Did you ever feel unsafe? And you were 400 meters from Russia. Did you ever feel like...
Well, it's so funny. I always thought it was so safe. Because it's like untouched wilderness and there's no people there. But then we found out, we read, there was an article that came out in the New Yorker 6 months ago.
There.
We knew that there was another journalist working in the area. And I was like, what are the chances that another New York Jew is in this fucking, is here? This is insane. Where do I have to go to get a story? And it was a guy that was writing an article for the New Yorker. It's a great piece by Ben Taub. And he was basically, what I learned when I read the article was that all of Russia's nuclear warheads are right there, or basically. And I was like, I thought it was so safe and so pure. But, I think it just goes to tell you that we're all on this planet together. We can't get that far away from each other.
Well, also we should have known, because the first couple of weeks, our microphones kept getting jammed.
Yeah.
We could not find an open channel on the radio mics. And our sound guy was he's an amazing sound person, Norwegian. He's been all over the country, but hadn't shot in Finnmark. He hadn't been where we were. And we had to return. We had no sound for 2 days. It would be working, and then it would be jammed. And then we get another mic, it'd be jammed. And the people, we were with these reindeer herders when this happened. And he was like, well, you're near Vaasa. Vaasa's the military base right there. He's like, that's absolutely, CIA has been there for years. They work with the Norwegians. They take all the channels. We're sure, those channels aren't. And we were like, sounds kind of far-fetched. But then it continued to happen. We read this article. It's like, of course, like this was all happening. We were in the hot spot. We're on the border with Russia and Norway, and NATO, the founding member of NATO is Norway. The United States is involved. Of course, it made a lot of sense. And then every time we flew the drone, we had to call the military every time, give them our coordinates, and meet with the military commanders up the street. And they're like, if you go the wrong direction, you will create an international incident, and someone will shoot it down. And that would be super. I was like, that'd be really embarrassing. What am I going to tell Berlin when I keep sending the drone back? I was like, now they're going to know I've been lying. It's got a bullet in it. No, but it was no, for real though. It was, there was a lot of that was around, that there was a vibe.
Spy games.
Spycraft
Yeah.
We live for this stuff, right? You're like, why can't I get a mic channel? Oh. I'm glad I asked that question. Let's open it to the audience. What do we have? Yes, right there.
How'd the idea come to me? All of our films come always in a random fashion. And someone eavesdropped over a conversation, or it's never something solid, In this case, it was COVID times, and I heard the last 4 minutes of a podcast. And a dog sledder named Blair Braverman was being interviewed by Kara Swisher on her former show. And she was saying amazing things, and then it ended. So I bought her book, and in her book, her autobiography, she talks about when she was 17, she enrolled in a folk high school in Norway, and it changed her life. And I said, Rachel, do you know what folk high school is? And it's a place you build character. It's like a gap year, but it's more than that. I don't know. And we started researching them, and there's 400 of them in Scandinavia. They're a real tradition. Every Scandinavian you'd ever meet would know someone who went there or attended one. And we thought, wow, what an interesting concept. How Scandinavian to go to a place just to build character. It's like, God, it's a good idea. And you can go for theater, you can go for circus arts, you can learn how to be a Viking. We went to one of those, like they make a Viking ship. And it's so, we got really hooked, and we thought, what an interesting way to look at this generation. Who goes there? Why do they go there? What happens to them? And so we started researching, and we visited a few in March 2023. And when we got to Pasvik, the furthest away, we met the teachers and the dogs. And it was like, oh no, we got to make a movie here, because it was very inconvenient, but it was the best one.
So most of them weren't necessarily dog oriented.
Just a handful are.
Just the ones in the north.
So that really interested you, the animal aspect of it. Yeah. And do you both have animals?
Oh yeah.
Children?
I have a child and a dog.
Would you send the child to this place?
I would love it. I would love it.
Will he go?
No.
Okay.
That was a hard pass for him.
No,
right? When he saw the movie.
He was like, no. Nice movie, Mom.
Nice try.
But maybe some other program. I very much believe in the gap year thing, though.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
He is 100% doing some sort of gap year. It makes perfect sense. Why people aren't? I think it.
You just go, this conveyor belt where we feel like you have to go from high school straight to college, and you don't even know. I remember them asking, like, what do you want to major in? And me thinking,
I don't know.
I'm 17.
I think especially boys need an extra year to bake, or two.
An extra year or two for the boys. Yes, back there. The question is, what do you hope that audiences will leave thinking or feeling?
I hope that people feel, like I said before you saw it, that there's still a lot of possibility. And, all these young people, they plan on having a long, great, productive life. They don't have the memo that everything sucks. So I think that was important for me to remember, that, the cycle of life, which we're talking about, but this has happened for thousands of years, and it'll be thousands and thousands of years in the future, and not to get so stuck into this moment necessarily, I hope that it makes people feel hopeful, and that the cycle of life can't be stopped, that it just will keep happening.
I feel like I was, before this movie, I think a lot of us, I'll speak for myself, not very tolerant of Gen Z. why are they so soft? Why are they always complaining? Why are they, like a lot of just shade. We talk about hiring Gen Z employees, and there's a lot of complaints about the generation, and I realized that these kids went through COVID. They're super tenderhearted. They're open and hopeful, and they've got a lot on their minds, and they are expected to behave the way we behaved, and they've been born with this phone in their hand. I learned so much empathy for this age group. Truly. I don't look at them the same. I don't speak. I really am like, I'm locked in now. I say, okay, you're having your own experience, and a lot's been put on you, and you've got a lot in you, a lot to say, and just so much beauty and just tenderness, So I really walked away, just really wanting to embrace this generation more and do more for them and be a better mentor and just, get involved. So that's what I took away.
I feel like, as a mother myself of a Gen Zer, I feel like you're absolutely right. There's like this battle with the phone, and with Instagram and all this pressure with social media that is so intense. If you've grown up with it and we're this generation that's existed before the internet, we're the last native, what is it called? Non-natives or whatever. Yeah. And it's really hard, it's really hard. Each one of them, like every Gen Zer I know has put their phone away and been like, I feel really good because I haven't been on my phone for like 3 days, but it's an addiction. It's like, for all of us.
They put it down for 3 days. That's good.
My son has done that. And then he picks it up again. But yeah, he's like, I haven't posted on Instagram for a month and a half. That's like,
I post like 3 times a day. I'm totally obnoxious. I think I'm Gen Z. I have the same problem. We all have the same problem.
We're promoting a movie,
and I am promoting.
It's
but
fair.
It's like we all are. Yeah. So,
and it's opening. I want to say this. I want to make sure not to say tomorrow. It's opening tomorrow.
If you liked it, tell your friends to see it.
We really want you to.
Lemley, NoHo, Lemley, Santa Monica.
We want you to go to social media. We don't want to go.
50 other cities, Magnolia. You can find out. If you liked the movie, tell them. If you didn't like the movie, you got to be like, shh, real quiet about it.
Well, we'll take a couple more questions. I just want to make sure to say that. Yes.
There was not a therapist when we were there. Apparently, there had always been one. But this was the first year that when we were filming that it was a social worker that was not working there anymore, but interesting. Eastland is taking all these, she's getting like another degree because the kids are coming with more and more, issues and anxieties. And she's like, the kids are more complicated. So she's been trying to like keep up with that, and so that she feels like she can help them. What was that?
Show the kids.
Oh yeah. So we always show our subjects the film before other people see it. And in this case, since they're all far away, we did this thing where we sent them a link, and then we had them set up the phone so we could watch the movie. So we were just watching them watch the movie, and it was so perfect. I cannot tell you, there's no other way I ever want to do that, because you've filmed this person for a year, and you've looked at them, and then you look at all the footage. So you're really used to looking at their face. And, you really get to know like micro everything on their face. So then when you watch the movie with them, it's like you're in their head. You know what they're thinking. You get so much out of the experience because you can see everything. You see how their eyes move, and because you know the movie so well. So it was really, really fun. And we flew to the Netherlands though to show it to Roman in person because he's fragile, and we wanted to make sure that it was a good experience for him. So we went and we showed it to him in his home in this small little town in the Netherlands. And it was really beautiful.
And Roman and Bjorn Tor, Roman and Hege and the teachers and everyone, we all showed the film in Oslo in March. And Roman came and he actually took the stage and answered questions on the mic. It was amazing. Yes, let's applaud for Roman. It was because he was like, I'm not going to come. And then he came. I'm not going to watch the movie. Then he watched. I'm not going to do the Q&A. Then he did it. I'm not going to see it a second time. Then he came a second time. So, he has to know that he doesn't have to do a thing, and then he'll do it on his own. And it was great to have that reunion. And we're hoping to do it again in Bergen in October, so that we can continue to have that make it a positive experience for them.
Right there.
He's working in a restaurant. Yeah.
Does anybody need the question repeated? Okay. How old is Hege?
How old was Hege when her father passed away?
When her father passed away.
14, 15, yeah.
14 or something.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago. It was like over 5 years ago. It's just something she buried and never. In fact, none of the students knew that her father had died until they saw the movie. So she really, truly hadn't told anyone, and told us and knew that it was going to be in the film and was okay with that. But she didn't want that to be her identity. So it's something she tucked away and stopped talking about almost immediately after it happened. And it was all within her. And it was, I think, as we know, was part of the reason she needed to leave and deal with it. The question is, we focused on those students from the jump. I mean, we had 2 or 3 others we were also following. As a documentary filmmaker, you do that, But really, it wasn't long before we really focused on those 3. Why? Because they each stated something that they were after. They all wanted to be different at the end than they were at the beginning. They stated a reason for going. It was very clear to them. There was something they didn't like, and they wanted to change it. Not everybody who goes to the school has those feelings. It might just be an adventure or I need a year before college. These 3 had really specific reasons to go. That intrigued us. And also they were disarmingly candid about what they wanted. I mean, we've never met a 17-year-old or 18-year-old boy that would say, I don't have any friends. I'm annoying. I'm lonely. Who speaks that way? No, I mean, really, like, it's so candid, and we were just so touched. They all were like that. And so it was really from the beginning that we knew that we hoped that those were going to be our 3 main characters, plus the teachers.
2 more, yes.
That's what it's for.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
No.
It's a good cry.
Okay.
It's a good cry.
A mom of too many children.
According to her.
A great artist in her own right, turns out. I happen to know this. A mom of too many children, and but also loves her children so dearly, and expressed that she cried throughout the film because of those transitional years and how strong she has to be, even though it's breaking her heart.
It's why we make movies, these kind of comments and that kind of candor. And remember, Eastland said it's okay to cry. Even
it's not dangerous.
It's not dangerous, at least for 106 minutes. So thank you so much.
I want to say something about that. You told me over dinner just now that this challenged you to, hey, you know what? If these guys are going to be uncomfortable like this is scary to me. And it's really interesting, because it's those moments also that cause me to usually go make a movie as well. But it's really interesting that it wasn't that they urged you to take on the challenge.
No.
And one of the challenges, like Chantal just said, is actually not giving the chocolate at that time and staying strong in the face of this kind of insecurity, and wanting, as probably a mother yourself, to just be like, right?
Well, I mean, that was interesting when you just said that, because it's helped me making this film. I have a 14-year-old, has helped me be more resilient, to have him be more resilient, which is like, just let him do it. Just let him do it, or he won't be able to do anything. So it's easier when it's not your kid. So when I was there and these teachers were doing everything, I was like, I got to do that. I got to be like them. But yeah, I mean, it just reminds you, like, they have to go and do it on their own.
And yes, sorry, one last question. Yes. It's the question is, did the instructors have did they give any insight as to what their background was, and what drove them to become instructors? And did the classes all have that same kind of social anxiety?
Yeah, what's interesting, which we did not put in the film, which maybe we should have, but we didn't have room. Iselin was a student at Pasvik once upon a time, and Tor Atle was her teacher once upon a time. And she didn't stay, and she went, had her life, and came back and became a teacher. But she was a very, very shy young woman from the south of Norway, from a very, very Christian and very conservative family. And she was broken open by this experience at Pasvik, and she had gone for 2 years. And it really changed the trajectory of her life in big ways and small. And in fact, her life choices are still baffling, I think, to her family in the South. It's a big kind of a radical thing to do, is to move up there. And she lives away from her partner, and they see each other every few months. So she's made these. So yes, that it was a major experience having gone to a folk high school. There's all kinds of colors and stripes, and students from the United States and Britain and France and Iceland and everywhere at the school. I would say that having gotten to know all of them, we both got to know all of them. There was like 47 of them. We know them all. Yes, there is anxiety across the board, insecurity, anxiety across the board for as a cohort. Some less than others, some more than others. But I would say that it was not just unique to our three main characters. I think it's definitely permeates the whole class.
We have to wrap up. But you know what? They're right here, and it's not a big room, so just rush the stage. Thank you all so much, and please spread the word. Thank you both. Congratulations.
Thanks, baby.
Congratulations, and thank you for coming.
Thanks for listening to another DGA Q&A. The Director's Cut is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And please share, subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear your feedback, and you can help fellow film buffs find the show. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. This podcast is produced by the Directors Guild of America